Today, we're talking about what you need to understand about money when setting your rates. There's one thing that I've learned in the past 7 years of owning my business. It's that value is subjective. The quicker we're able to understand this, the quicker we're going to find success and peace in the rates that we are setting for our offers. I want to talk about money today because most of us have a very complicated relationship with money. Whether we grew up with money and we felt guilty for having it, or like myself, grew up really poor and on welfare, every single one of us has a relationship with money. And as a business owner, it's imperative for us to understand that relationship that we have and to work through it so that we are able to charge appropriately for what it is that we are selling. As I said, my childhood, the full 18 years, I was poor on state assistance, and this really colored my perception of money in my adult life. Two really strong narratives that played in my mind was that one, money is bad, and two, I will never be good enough to have the money that I desire, and that life is always going to be hard and stressful and difficult because there's never going to be enough money. And this is a terrible mindset to carry into business ownership, because what that does is it creates a place or coming from scarcity and lack and this feeling of never being good enough. So learning what to charge for myself has been this ebb and flow journey, because every time we move closer to the rates that we want to charge, we have to calibrate our mind and our bodies with that rate. We're really going to get into why redefining your relationship with money is paramount to you achieving the success and building a business that supports you. And as I'm going through these key points, I'm going to be giving you real, tangible, actionable items that you can work on today, the next 6 months, to help you hopefully get to that next level in your business. Ultimately, what we're working on is shifting your perspective on money, value, and worth so that you are in a place that feels good, abundant, and awesome. As I mentioned earlier, the first point I want to make is that value is subjective. If you don't believe me, I want you to think about a time when you have paid for something that was more than what you could have gotten somewhere else. And this is actually a framed question that my client and friend Jen posed last year in a group. And I can guarantee that every single one of us has a list of things that we paid extra money for that we could have gotten cheaper somewhere else. Why did we pay extra for those things? Because we valued paying extra. Knowing that people will pay for what they value is a really great thing, because it means is you can charge your worth when you're able to communicate value effectively. But one of the hardest parts of figuring out what that value is taking on other people's bias of value. So for example, a lot of people tell me what they think the value of my work is. I've had people say, that's too expensive. I've had people say, I think what you're charging makes sense for this. And one of the things that I always find irks me is that they are assuming that they understand what it takes to do my job. And the reason why they're assuming that is, especially with the photography industry, having a phone that does all of these automatic things dilutes what photographers bring to the table. Add in the fact that there are lots of photographers out there who are not ready to take themselves seriously as a professional, and they're charging terribly low for their service, creates this perspective that you don't need to pay that much for the work professional photographers are doing. This is not unique to photography. This is something that happens in every single industry. This is a part of the free market, whatever. So one of the key challenges is, as a professional in your industry, remembering that you get to set your rates. So even though this is a common thing that we see across all industries, and that can create a lot of doubt in your own prices. One of the key parts of setting your rates is really understanding your brand. This is where branding is so important. This is why some people are able to charge better and more than others. Your brand is this entire experience. It's this entire entity. And when you have a very thought out foundational brand strategy, brand identity, this is when you're starting to move into a space of higher value for your clients. Most of us are really good at setting the rate for the tangible items. So it's like, this is the time that I've spent. This is the product that I have delivered. This is the service I am completing. And we understand how to charge for that. But when it comes to understanding the intangible value, pieces that are harder to find, we really underestimate the value of those elements that we bring to our service or product. And often the real value is in the intangible. It is what makes you different and unique from someone else in your industry doing the same thing. So here are a couple of examples, or a few examples of intangible value that a lot of people overlook. So the first one is professional experience, professional expertise. What do I mean by this? This is people who have been in the industry for a long time, people who have a lot of experience in different areas. These all add to value. Why? Because if you are a professional and you've been in the industry for a very long time, you have a lot of knowledge that is so valuable to making the client experience and the final product or the service that much better than, say, someone who is just starting out. And it's not to say that you can't have experience or have that professional expertise when you're first starting out, but it's just different. There's no way to say 1 year is better than 5 years, in the sense that 5 years of experience is a lot of lived experience. So that's the first one. The second one is in how you make your clients feel. This is huge and often overlooked. In a world where we have tons of massive corporations and, baseless companies where most of us feel like a number and we don't really feel seen, as small business owners, this is our superpower in what we do to help our clients or our customers feel. This is how we build those relationships. The next one is professionalism. So contracts, custom proposals, your workflow, communication, all of these add value. And oftentimes, part of the reason why there is such a struggle for small businesses is there's a lot of people out there who are not operating professionally. Add in how contracts protect you and your client. I cannot tell you how surprised I am when I come face to face with agencies, full companies, where they're telling me that they've been in business for 10 years, 5 years, 7 years, and they're just now starting to introduce contracts. That's bananas to me. I don't even understand. I'm like, how are you asking people for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 without a contract? Having a contract shows respect. It shows that you care about them as much as you care about protecting yourself. Anyway, that's a tangent. Okay, let's move on. Identifying your intangible value is difficult for most of us. And the reason is we are too close to what it is that we do. And our intangible value is often found in the things that come really easy to us that we take for granted because we assume that everyone is operating and doing things the way that we do. So, for example, I am a hyper organized person who really doesn't like chaos or feeling out of control. And what this translates into the work that I do for my clients, specifically speaking on the photo shoot side of things, is that I'm highly organized, I'm very detail focused, and I am very thorough with what it is that I'm doing for my clients. As a result, what happens is my clients feel really safe and at ease, and because of that, they have more fun on their photo shoots, they relax, and